Hello, this is Michael for DenoteLessons, and this is the first video of the English playlist, where I'll be going through this Unit 1 English Literature exam called Exploring Modern Texts. But before I go anywhere near this exam, I think it's very important to first look at the specification on the left-hand side, because there's something very important in here that I don't think is touched on enough in lessons, and there's very important information that could be very useful to anyone sitting the English Literature exam. So I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. It's this here where it says specification at a glance. You'll notice it says candidates must take route A or route B, which means there's two separate routes for the English Literature exam, and I wasn't aware of this until quite recently. The route I am taking, along with most of my classmates, is Unit 1, and where it says either Unit 2, Poetry Across Time, and Unit 3, The Significance of Shakespeare and the English Literary Heritage. This third part here, this Unit 3 part, we've already done. My year has, at least. We did a lot of the controlled assessments in Year 10 about Macbeth and Romeo and Juliet. But this Unit 2 part is the part I'm currently focusing on, where we have to do poetries from different anthologies. We have to respond to unseen poems in this exam, and it's an external examination, 1 hour and 15 minutes long. Also, what we're doing is this top part here. It's an external examination, and there's two sections to it, and it's called Exploring Modern Texts, which is what is on the right hand side currently. So that's the Unit 1 exam I'm going to be looking at, simply because it appears in both Route A and Route B. So I thought it would be good to cover it for anyone, if you're doing either Route A or Route B, it doesn't matter. I can still go through this exam with you, and it will help you. So that's the specification. That's all we need to really know from there. I'm trying to think what else there is. There's not much else in this unit I can show you. You can see here, it shows you all the different ones you could be studying. There's DNA, Kind of Transport, The Crucible, Under Milkwood, The Woman in Black, and in Spectacles, that's the one I'm currently doing. But it shows you all the different ones that you could be studying. And I found this very interesting. I've never seen the Unit 1 English Literature exam, and I was, sort of surprised at what to expect. The first thing I noticed looking at instructions is that it says answer 2 questions just here. Answer 2 questions. Scrolling down, you can see already there's different stories you can choose from, and there's a lot of different questions. There's question 1, or question 2, or question 3, or question 4, or question 5, or question 6. And you'll notice they're all 30 marks long. The simple point of this exam is it's very different from a lot of other exams you'll get, where you have like different questions, you have space underneath the question to answer it, and the questions are all the same for everyone taking it. It depends upon which stories you are studying currently as to what questions you answer. So, for example, me, who is studying in Exploring Cultures, we're doing Of Mice and Men, and in Modern Prose or Drama, we're doing an Inspector Calls. Those are the 2 questions I'd answer. I'd scroll through all the pages until I found the right question, and you're given separate paper to answer that question on. So you'll have to flip through all of this extra stuff, ignoring most of it until you find there's one, for example, an Inspector Calls. And you answer only 2 questions. So you pick out of the 2 questions here. On Inspector Calls, you'll say, because it says either or, you go, do I want to do the Arthur Burling one, or do I want to do the Gerald one? And then you'll also do one in section B about, here you go, Of Mice and Men, where there's a passage from the book, and there we go. I find this is very helpful because in my particular class, I was never really shown any specifications like this on the left, or any of the exams. So this is sort of the first time I'm seeing this, but I think it's very useful because it gives you a sort of an idea of what to expect in the upcoming exam. But that's pretty much what it is. It's out of 60 marks. The 2 questions you answer are both 30-mark questions each, so that's quite a large question. And it says here at the bottom where it says advice, to spend 45 minutes on each question. So, the exam is 1 hour and 30 minutes long in total, and you've got 45 minutes to answer just 45 minutes just to answer 2 questions each. But I think in comparison to the language exam, which had a lot more questions, and it was, I think, at least in my opinion, it was more difficult to sort of break up the time. This is very clear on its timings. You've only got 2 questions to answer from 2 separate sections, and you've got a very specific time to do that. So I think the literature exam will be easier in terms of timings. That's pretty much all I'm going to be talking. That's all I'm pretty much going to say for this part in the English playlist. But the next video will be me looking at the Exploring Modern Texts mark scheme, and then I'll have a look at poetry across time, divulging into the unit I'm doing at school currently, where it says here route A or route B. It'll be the left hand side, the poetry across time, and the significance of Shakespeare. So until next time, this has been Michael for DenoteLessons. Thanks for watching.